rescue me yet again. You put me first everywhere. You make me feel better than the mother too. You rescue me yet again. You put me first everywhere. You make me feel better than the mother too.
On the one hand, you can't say you don't want a woman that's emotionally and economically needy. You don't want her, but at the other hand, you don't feel secure unless she is needy. How you going to say you don't want a gold digger, but yet you insecure when a woman has her own? How you going to say you don't want an emotional vampire, but yet you need the woman to be emotionally needy for you to be secure? Make up your mind, black man. Stop sending these women mixed messages. Choose a side and stand on it. Let's continue. Please don't say you're going to leave that man and you don't. Please don't tell that man you're going to leave him and you don't. Worst thing you can do, because you done gave him all your power. You done gave him all your power, which is the same as saying you done gave him all your respect. See, the relationship starts out with 50% power. The relationship starts out with 50% power. The relationship starts out, you got 50% of the power, he got 50% of the power, and then you slowly start giving your power away. By doing what? Retreating on your non-negotiables. Taking back your non-negotiables. Not keeping your promises. Which takes me to something else. And I've already told you, no man wants a doormat for his woman. No man wants a doormat for his woman. So letting him walk all over you does not protect the relationship. Letting him walk all over you does not protect the relationship. It's the quickest way to get your ass up out of there. It's the quickest way to get your ass up out of there. Which takes me to another point. Stop using pity. Stop trying to invoke pity from your man as a means of him not breaking up with you. A lot of women will try to make the man feel sorry. A lot of women will try to make the man feel sorry by crying and threatening to hurt themselves. And I'm a overdose. I'm going to jump off the river. I'm going to shoot myself. I'm going to hang myself. And I'm not making light of that because suicide is a growing problem for black women. I'm not making light of that. But black woman, if you have to invoke pity, if he has to feel sorry for you in order to stay with you, if you got to make your man feel sorry for you in order to stay with you, then you need to be left. You need to be abandoned because that's not a healthy situation. You have to make him feel sorry and guilty about leaving in order for him to stay, and you comfortable with that. See, one of the rules, Dr. Umar's rules, one of Dr. Umar's rules. Hold on, where at? Dr. Umar's rules. Low self-esteem women finish last. Thirsty women finish last. The only woman who's healthy enough to be in a relationship, the only woman who's healthy enough to be in a relationship is a woman who's healthy enough to be content by her damn self. If you can't live alone, if you cannot keep your own company for yourself, if you have a problem occupying your bed alone, if you have a problem occupying your life alone, if you have a problem occupying your home alone, you have no business looking for a relationship. See, the irony of relationships, the irony of romance, only people who are fine being by themselves will make good partners. That's the irony. Clingy people, needy people, dependent people, they don't make good partners because they're too emotionally dysfunctional. The best partners are people who don't need a relationship. Look for people who don't need a relationship, but want a relationship. Those are the healthy people. The healthy people are the people who don't need a relationship, but they want a relationship. The unhealthy people are the people who need a relationship, but should not be in one. The unhealthy people are the people who need a relationship, but should not be in one. Don't break your non-negotiables. Don't say it's a non-negotiable if it's not. Okay? If you got low self-esteem, you will be taken for granted, black woman. If you got low self-esteem, you will be taken for granted, black woman. It's important for a black woman to evaluate how much a potential mate respects black womanhood. Does he respect black womanhood? Because see, for some men, you are nothing but a vagina. For some men, you are nothing but a vagina. See, we live in a society ruled by the Neanderthal that has sexually objectified the woman as an entity. We live in a society ruled by the Neanderthal that has sexually objectified the woman. And a lot of black men have been victimized by that. We have been brainwashed and indoctrinated by that. Gangster rap has played a very big role in teaching black boys to sexually objectify the black woman. So when you get with a man who you're interested in, you have to see if he can value you beyond the physical. Can he value you beyond the physical? Can he value you beyond the physical? Now, some women, because you're stunningly attractive. Some women, because you're stunningly beautiful. Some women, because you are overwhelmingly pretty. You think it's okay to get in a relationship with a man who only values your physical. But what you fail to realize, how you look at 25, you will not look at 35. How you look at 35, you will not look at 45. How you look at 45, you will not look at 55. And how you look at 55, you will not look at 65. So if you settle for a relationship with a man who only values you based on how you look, sooner or later, you will be reduced to second, or you will be dropped altogether. The worst thing for a woman to do is to be content being valued by the way she looks. Now, we know teenage girls, they into that. It's a growing phase, right? They're young, they're beautiful. They're going to be beautiful for the next 10, 15, 20 years. Okay? A 21-year-old, she'll get away with that for good 10 years, maybe even 20, right? But if you're 35, you're not getting away with that for 20 years. So why even enter into that type of relationship? Why even do it to yourself? Why even do it for yourself? Now, another problem black women have, and I know I'm going to upset some of my sisters when I say this. Another problem that black women have, and I know I'm going to upset some of my sisters when I say this, but I'm going to keep it real. Because when you read the For Sisters Only book, I'm going to keep it real. Stop hoeing around all through your 20s. Stop hoeing around all through your 30s. You give your 20s to the street Negroes. You give your 30s to the pretty boys. They use you up, dog you out. Now you're in your 40s. And nobody's jumping to marry your ass. And so now you're saying it ain't no good black men. No, no, no. There's plenty of good black men. The problem is you gave your best years to men who didn't deserve it. The problem is you gave your best years to men who didn't deserve it. And now you see your biological clock is ticking and your beauty clock. See, you got a biological clock. How long you can have those babies, and you got a beauty clock. How long you gonna be looking good? A biological clock. How long you gonna have them babies, and a beauty clock. How long you gonna be looking good? And guess what? When you hit those 40s, don't get me wrong, black don't crack, but everybody declines. Black don't crack, but everybody starts to decline at some point. Black don't crack. The black woman keeps it together better than any other woman because you're the original woman. You're God's first human being. But don't get it twisted. Everybody's going to decline. And all I'm saying to black women, not all of you, I'm not saying if you're 40 and single, you hold around from 20 to 40. I'm not saying that. And hoeing around is just a metaphor for being out there dating the wrong guys. I'm not saying you a hoe. I'm not saying you sleeping around. I'm not saying you running around flapping a loosey-goosey all over the ghetto. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying you're the loosey-goosey ghetto girl. I'm not calling you the loosey-goosey ghetto girl. What I'm saying is a lot of you waste the whole decade of your 20s dating men you know ain't gonna marry you, but because they fine, they handsome, they popular, you give them your whole 20s. Then you get in your 30s. Be dating married men, athletes, gangster rap, celebrity. They're not going to marry you. They just having fun with you, but you enjoy it for the moment. And the next thing you know, you look up at your clock. You look up at your biological clock. You look up at your beauty clock and it's tick, 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 tick. Now you try to rush out and find a man at 43, 44, 45, and you all trying to find a man, and you trying to find a man, and you trying to find a man, and when you can't get a man, now you're 47, 48, 49, and you can't get a man. You say black men don't want to commit. Black men ain't serious. Black men don't value black women. That's true for a lot of men, but it ain't true for most of us. You gave away your best years when you should have been focusing. Stop giving away your best years when you need to be focusing. I'm not saying you can't pop that coochie for a few years. Everybody is going to experiment. I understand you got to pop that coochie for 2 or 3. I get it. I get it. You want to experiment with, I get it. I get it. But at some point, you got to calm it all down. At some point, you got to calm it all down, get focused, and start looking for your mate. Because black women are the last married and the first divorced. You ain't got time to wait till you're 40 to start looking for your husband. You ain't got time to wait until you're 40 to start looking for your husband. Okay? Now, another mistake y'all make. Another mistake my beautiful African sisters make. And I'm only giving you this wisdom because I love y'all. And I want all y'all to be married. I want all my sisters to be happy. Every black woman that wants a family should have a family. Every black woman that wants kids in wedlock should have children in wedlock. I want that for you. But something else. Something else. Let me tell you what separates white women from the black women. Let me tell you one thing that separates white women from black women. Observation. Black women want their men to have it all before she commits. The white woman only needs to see the potential and the commitment. I'm going to say it again. The black woman tends to want her man to have it all before she commits. The white woman don't need her man to have it all. She just needs to see his potential. And the white woman will back him and support him and ride with him and help develop him until he gets it all. See, one of the things black women got to stop doing, not all of you, some of you. Not all of you, some of you. When you see a man who ain't